Hello and good afternoon, my fantastic quilting friends. I don't know what time of day it is going to be when you get to watch this, but today we're talking about this beautiful, wonderful shape of the 60-degree diamond. Maybe you would like to make a 6-pointed star. Maybe you would like to make a hexagon. Maybe you would like to create a beautiful tumbling block. But you have heard so many horrific, scary things about the joyful Y seam, which is right here. It's a Y seam because it looks exactly like a Y. You know, the starting, the stopping. But we're going to think outside the box. But first, we need a shape. We could download a template. Sometimes easy, sometimes not so easy. We could also order a template. Kind of like this. This is my first ever Easy 6. Oh, it's upside down. Easy 6 ruler. When I looked it up for you guys, I could only find it on eBay, and it was labeled as vintage. And I'm like, what does that make me? And my beautiful mother, she says the darndest thing. She says, that makes you an experienced quilter. And I think I can confidently say that is true. So we could do the Easy 6. To use the Easy 6, I'm going to flip this around because it's easier for me. This is 4 inches, so I'm going to cut the 4. There's one really big rule to creating your 60-degree diamond. You don't have to worry about the math, you know, how many degrees and that degrees. It's the size of strip. It is the size of strip, and I will show you that later. I don't know how comfortable you feel going, but you could line this up to the 2.5 and cut a 2.5 inch strip. Goes all the way across here to here. Line that up. The biggest key, even not with just this, but with any time you cut, we could even probably get a 1.5 out of that. So with the easy cut, it's pretty easy. I want to try to come down here where you guys are. The one thing I don't care about the easy cut is you can easily bump into the tip of right here of your ruler. So I start up, pull back, and then go forward. Give that a whirl. Because I'm right-handed, I'm going to just simply rotate and place this back on. Wrong way. I gotta flip and the flip and the flip. There we go. Can you see? Am I in frame? That's it. Am I in frame? There we go. And then it's a simple cut. And you keep going down your line. Yes, I'm cutting paper. It is my house, my rules. And I'm okay with that. I have a sharpener. First disclaimer, I am not associated with anybody, and advertising for anybody, or affiliated with anybody. My tools are my own. I've bought them all. Or they've been given to me, like from my mom and my dad. And that's all there is to it. So, yeah, no advertising, no nothing. This is a Grace True Cut sharpener. I do recommend this. It lengthens the life of your blade. I go that way, and I also turn it around to get both sides of the blade, and I go that way. I do it a few times. It keeps my blade super sharp. Highly recommended. If you're looking for a tool, you can use your blades a lot longer. Alright, so there was that, and then we had this smaller, whoops, let's go get rid of this. This smaller guy, it's the same thing. You get the idea. This was the 2.5. It's pretty simple. This Easy 6, should you come across one, you know, in your mom's or your grandma's closet, and it's fantastic. And you can just keep cutting and keep cutting and keep cutting. This way. Nope, this way. My bad. And just line her up with, this is going to get, what size is this? The 2.5. So I have to bring this to the dark 2.5 inch line. This outer 2.5 inch line. And that would give me a 60-degree diamond. Reason I'd rather do paper than fabric. Paper's pennies. A tumbling block quilt is a fantastic quilt to use up your scraps. You could start making, there's one basic rule to follow with tumbling block, and that is, it's not the order they go in, but you need a dark, a medium, and a light. That would be your fabrics. So you could start creating those and setting them away and getting quite a bit of little, as you do a quilt. Another way that works to get your 60-degree diamond, if you have a 60-degree triangle, you can make a 60-degree diamond. As simple as, I need a pen. We're still recording? We're still recording. So, let's see. This is 5. I'm going to line up, I pre-marked my paper to make this easier. I'm going to line up that line, your center line, and then your whatever inches you're going to do. And you're just going to trace on this side and then flip around to the 5. We'll line the 5 back up right there and right there. And then you could cut it out. The ends make it nice. This one does not have holes, but this ruler has the chopped squared ends. So that would work, right? And then to figure out what size strips you need, well, let's do that, huh? Let's figure out what size strips we need. A slice here. Goodbye, yellow brick road. So, what is everybody working on these days? I have to be honest, this is the first tumbling block quilt I have ever done. I've done plenty of star quilts, just not a tumbling block quilt. And it's coming along fairly well. I started yesterday. I cut my fabric. So just under 2 yards each. I'm actually using 8 fat quarters. 8 fat quarters on a quilt. So this is coming up to your strip width would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. 5 1/4 is what this would cut your strips. And it's that simple for that. Now, let's go another route. How about you don't have a triangle, you don't have an Easy 6 because you're not vintage enough. I'm just teasing. You're not, or you haven't got one passed down to you yet. Everybody generally has a ruler, like it's so, right? And on that ruler we have, let's zoom you in because these are harder to see. That's our 45-degree mark. It's upside down for you. 45. And at the other end, there is the 60. All right. So, what size should we cut? Let's do 2.5 because, you know, how many of us have 2.5-inch strips, right? 2.5. Gotta flip my ruler over, make sure we're on the right. I don't like cutting with the markings on the top. Only if I have to. It's a little less accurate. You get the shadows. So 2.5 inches. Let's give a cut. You want to do a jelly roll? Oh, jelly roll would be good. Jelly roll has a lot of good color combos in it, of lights, darks, and mediums. That would be cool. It would be very scrappy, and that's alright. Alright, so we got our 2.5-inch strip cut. We need to make our first cut. Alright, I think we're good again. So I cut a 2.5-inch strip, and we're going to use our 60-degree line. So this is your fabric. You're going to line up your 60-degree line on the top of your fabric. In my case, it's paper. 60-degree across the top. Give a little slice, right? Give it a spin. Now, you're going to cut on the straight. You could line this up on the lines on your cutting mat, but it's not going to do you, doesn't do anything for you, really. Look, see how I can do it this way? Just to prove a point. And I don't like to cut up and down on my lines the least amount I can, anyway. So we're going to line that up on the 2.5. And, you know, I looked at the Easy 6. The 2.5 on this is actually different. So make sure you're using the same ruler to cut. I don't know if you can see that. Whoop. 2.5 should be to that line right there. 2.5. That's the 1.5 to 2.5. I think it's because they measure different across, like here. I'm not sure, but don't intermix your rulers. Just not a wise idea. So the other thing that you have to do generally, right? Whoop, wrong ruler. When you're making your quilts is mark your start and stop points, right? And I want you to take note of this. Now my quilt, I believe, is going to have somewhere around 128 cubes. That's, so times that by 3, that's how many I would have to mark. So we marked that. Did I even get that into the cam? Do it again. 1/4-inch marks. Here, here. Flip. Some of your templates might have little dots where you'd make a dot and a dot. And I don't have that luxury. So I was saying I'm using 8 fat quarters cut into 4-inch strips. They're 4 by the 21. And then 2 different fabrics, my dark and my light, are each about 2 yards. So with this marking, our start and stops, we're going to throw that out the window. We're not, I did it on the side as well, maybe you can see that better. We're throwing that out the window. We're not doing that. We're throwing out a lot of rules today. What if you broke your ruler, or maybe you don't have this kind of a ruler? Maybe you have a stripology or Let's go this way. Or a shape cut. This is June Tailor. This is forever old as well. Another gift from my mom. I don't use it often, but I do use it. This has a 60-degree line on it. I haven't quite figured out how to use it that way, but I know how to use it a different way. And I'm going to be kind and even show you. I cut my fabrics at 4 inches. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut them at 4 inches. I'm going to go to the other side of the camera. Here. This, let me see. Now for this, I'm going to have to slide this down. Maybe I might do that instead. Slide that down. That'll work. Alright. So we have a 0 here and a 0 here. We have a 60-degree line on the mat. I'm going to line my fabric up on the 60-degree line. And you can't, am I all the way out? You can't see. This is what I need you to see. So, because angling up this way, this is our farthest one inward going that way. You want to make sure that's out of the way. Put this on the seam line. Then our 0 mark will line up with that line. Your horizontal and vertical lines need to line up for this. No thank you, blue. You can say hello nicer than that to all my quilting friends. You don't have to be an angry pup. Alright. So we have horizontal and vertical lines lined up. Our fabric is on the 60-degree line. Can you see this? Maybe not on this one. We're going to put it in. Clean this edge off. What did I say? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one you can see. And I'm sorry for the glare off the window. If you kind of tilt your rotary cutter into that groove, it goes in a little bit easier. So 4. And then I think that cut. This is a pretty new blade, so I'm not hearing the whoosh. And it's only 2 layers of fabric. And then 8. 8. And then 12. Oh, come on. And you can actually get one more out of this as well. But I will show you. I didn't cut it all the way through. I think I'm going to use a ruler for that one. I didn't get it all the way through. I didn't push hard enough. I'm kind of weak today. Alright, so there is that. Those are the different ways you can make diamonds. You know, the other thing you could do, if you're not about learning, let me give you another idea. Just let me give you some more inspiration, okay? Here we go. How about, let's intermix this, white and white. What if you did a quilt like this? Right? You just keep going up and make like an argyle or whatever. Nope, not those ones. I gotta fix those. And you made a diamond quilt, right? Me a couple more real quick. So what you would do, you would separate these. You would sew these, correct? And you would be sewing your rows kind of on a diagonal. And then after you got those sewed together and those sewed together, you could add them like this. And look, you can make them smaller. I do one more. You could make a 9 patch. you could make a 4 patch. Now that's talking about math, but we're not going to do math. I mean, how beautiful is that? That's pretty cool, right? Now, let's get to the fun part. I will see you back here in just a short bit. Alright. I guess I told a fib. I'm about a third of the way through. This is the ones that I have done. Those are done. This is ready for step 2 of sewing, and this is what I have left. Now, part of setting myself up, first, like I said, traditionally, but it's your rules. You go white on the top, your medium on the right, and your dark on the left. I'm going the other way. This is the way I'm sewing them. The reason I did that when I took the photo and posted it in the Quilting Perfectly Imperfect Points, I thought when I took the photo that the puppy block is brighter. I think it looks brighter in the camera. I don't know if this camera will pick it up or not. Oh, this way and this way. Let's do it one more time. We could do it side by side. Let's do it side by side. Oh look, there's kitties too. We have kitties. We have kitties. Kitties, kitties. Am I enough in frame? I think I am. If you're using white on white or a white and a gray, where's a really dark one, you can kind of see it in the back. I would suggest you put all your fabric facing one way. It makes it life a little bit easier. Then we'd have a white down here. No, I was going to do it the opposite. Remember, Deborah, Jean, Jeez, Louise. I'm losing it. I should find another puppy one. How about the puppy one that's done? Let's take a puppy one that's done. Which one looks brighter? I still think, even if I switch these around, because of the light that's coming in, yeah, I still think this makes it look brighter. That's why I'm doing it that way. You could even do it with white and black on either side, or your light and dark on either side, and your medium up at the top. I know everybody's saying, why didn't you do it that way? Because I didn't like it that way. It's my quilt. My quilt, that's the way I'm doing it. Alright, let me set us up for some sewing and show you how to do this. Alright, this is my setup. It's my pin tray for later. Medium's on the right, and lights on the left. I'm shedding. Alright. Both of them are face up. I'm going to flip over. Do you see this? No marking, no marking, no markings. Remember the old school way? Oh, the markings, that's back. No markings on nothing. I'm not wasting the time. You can pin this if you so choose. I need to make sure this guy is going the right way. This one doesn't matter. Flip over, flip over. You have your 1/4 inch, and as long as you are consistent, that's all that matters. Line up your diamond. I start with a leader and an ender. I just have some other fabrics down here. Let's see if I can get it in a little more. Let me stick this under the needle a little bit. I do tend to hop up my foot every time, so like the foot does not press my top fabric. You just kind of take your time and go. And let her go. Deb, you didn't stop at the 1/4 inch. Like, you know, you're supposed to. You're supposed to stop 1/4 inch, start a 1/4 inch. No, we're throwing that out the window, remember? I don't play by the rules very well, because there are no rules. I want to get my quilt done. I want to do this because it's fun, and then I want to move on to another quilt because that's fun, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want to do it. What about you? Do you just like to do them and then see what else you can do, what other kind of sewing adventure you can go on? I love sewing adventures. Oh, speaking of which, I'm so excited. I haven't taken it out of the box. Mail call today brought me a quilt hanger. It's basically for photography. I'm sewing this a little slow, but it's basically for a backdrop for photography. It holds 45 pounds, so if it doesn't hold a quilt, I'm in trouble. Let's see if we can get you in a little closer. Just a little closer, and we'll do one or two more of these. Alright, we're zoomed in a little bit. I gotta tell you, so my nails are generally pretty long. I can't quilt without my pointer fingernail. It's horrible. I was working on the stage 2 of these last night, and you'll see when I get that far. See how I lifted it to stick it under there, put it up close to the needle, have it lined up with my 1/4-inch line. I was deboning a ham. I break my nails on the stupidest things, like taking a fish off of a hook, or cutting up a ham, or folding laundry. Don't ask me how. I can, move rocks and cut wood and split wood, and they'll never break, and my hands are just the only thing showing in the camera. I need to look at what I'm doing here. It's hard to share space with the camera. One more. We'll do one more of this, and then I'll show you what the next step is besides snip, snip, snip. Alright. Under we go. Move you out a little bit. Up to the needle. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, for the next step, I definitely need my nail. Oh, I'm looking at the computer to see what is in view besides my hand here. Maybe I need to try from the other side. But you get the picture on this. We're just lining up corner to corner, right? I'll take a leader and an ender. Of course. Whoa. I like a long one. So, ooh, that one was a little close. There we go. We're alright. Then of course you snip them apart. Whatever you use to snip them apart. Let's back off so you're not just looking at my garden fingernails. I don't wear gloves out there. Oh look, I got ink in my hand too. So you clip these off, clip these off, clip these off, and we'll get rid of those, right? So we'll be done with this and this. And what we do with this, you can either iron or just finger press. I like to set the seams. I try to, but open. Now I'm going to have you break one of my cardinal rules. Flip her over. Flip it on over. Open up the seam. This is why I like the iron. And with dry iron, please use a dry iron because this is so biased, it will skew on you. Okay. One. Let's do. It doesn't matter which way we go. So what? And so when you starch, it makes the little bit of crispy. I didn't use as much on the white, so it's not nearly as crispy as I would like it to be. And I think it's also easier to finger press something open when it's not hot, or to open up your seams when it's not hot. There's a darn good reason we're opening up. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Another thing that I do, because I'm opening up seams so that my seams don't pop at the ends, I shorten my stitch length by 1. It's normally a 2.5. It's at a 2 right now. I think that's important to note. Get in there, get in there. So there's that. We'll do one more. And then I'm going to readjust the camera because you need to see. Open sesame. Right? I think 4 is a good number. 4 is a good number. Open, open, open. Yeah, I like these to sit nice and flat. I do like to take the iron and just smash it with iron. But I'm saving time at the moment. Now we need black, black, and we need the black. Alright, so it used to was, wherever I threw this thing, you would put this down and you put your pin in here. You line up your seam, you got your 1/4 inch there, and you got your 1/4 inch mark here, and you get it all lined up. That's upside down. Oh, no, it's like that. And oh, my bad. Like this. Yeah, it would go like this. So it would be 1/4 inch, and then a 1/4 inch there. Like I said, throw it out the window. So, for this is how our block looks. Get out of there, pin. I need to get you more room here so you can see me. So you can see what's happening. Alright. Like this. And then we're going to go like this. Match up this point and this point. These 2 points. Match up this point. Get everything nice and snug in there. Use your finger. And this is another reason I like to press with the iron, because you can feel it better. You run your fingernail across. You can place that pin. And it should come pretty close there. It's on that side. We'll do it again. So your V shape or your tulip shape is going face up. We're going to start on the right side, and we're going to line up and line up. Place a pin. Place a pin. Okay. It's on that side. That's all I'm happy. That's all I worry about. Up, face up. This one's not very pressed very well. You would think I could finger press, but I'm not very well at it. Alright, so line up corner. That's just one. Felt like 2. It's because it's got a good amount of starch. Alright. Find that guy. Jabby, jab in. The only reason I'm pinning this is to hold it so it doesn't slip out of place, because it likes to do that. And we have one more. No, I don't want to look at you say goodbye to old time blues. Old time, oh, this takes forever. Is this ever going to end? One more black piece. Give me a dark and a dark corner. Tip. Tip. Pin. How about a pin? And just kind of feel, you can kind of, you don't have fingernails, that's fine. You can kind of run your pin over it, and you'll find the bump. And you just want to make sure, the biggest thing is making sure that it's over that 1/4 inch. And generally, I get the pin through. Can you see that? The pin through on this side of the seam line, as close to the seam line as possible. Alright, reset everything up again. Alright, round 1. This is because you're sewing these really sharp points. That's why you want to start with a leader or ender. you're going to line this up with your 1/4 inch. Get that out of the way a little bit. Some of the newer machines, you don't need a leader and ender because I have the cutters and the knotters and the thingies and the... Yeah, my machine's not fancy enough. Okay. Are we alright focused enough? If it's not, I apologize. So we're going to go. And we're going to stop. We are going to pull that pin out. And we are going to put our needle... we are going to put our needle down when we stop right into the seam line. It's too close. Right into the seam line. It's better to have it 1 stitch over to the light side than it is to have it 1 stitch on the dark side. Best if you can get it dropped down, that needle down, and if you can put your machine in needle down position for stopping, that's great. If you can't, I would suggest you hand wheel it because this is so important. Needle has to be down. Here we go. You sew, take out that pin. It's not needed anymore. Throw it in the magnet dish. Except for I need it, I forgot. I don't have my fingernail to do this. This is why I said I needed my fingernails. And this one's going to be really difficult to see because it's white meeting up with white. A lot of times I'll turn it this way so I can see, like, so if I hold my presser foot, I can move it up a little bit more. I can see that I need 1 more stitch. 1 more stitch. So for those of never turn your fabric without the needle being down in position. Okay? If you have to hand crank it because you have an older machine, crank it, turn it. If it's not right, turn it back. Line it up the best you can. It's only 1 stitch. Double check. Right smack dab in the middle. Can you see that? Can we get in any closer? It's right in the middle. Do you see that? Alright, out we go because you need to see. You need to see what comes next. So, leave this up. I might need that pin still. Pick this guy up in your left hand. Then, the black in the right hand. We're going to switch positions. This part here is going to start folding. Keep folding, keep folding. Match our light and dark triangle up. Match this tip up. I know it looks crinkled up there. It's going to work out. Don't worry. We just got to fiddle with it just a little bit. Be patient. Trust me, this is so much quicker than putting all those 1/4 inch marks down. And this is just about where the fold is, and this is why I like having my fingernails, because I can get in closer by that needle because it gets just sometimes just a little caught up. Alright. Look good to you? Looks good to me. Except for that corner. I like these corners going down, and you'll see why when we get to the ironing part. There we go. Down it goes. Lined right up where it needs to be. Do you see that? Right on the edge. And then we sew down to the corner. Right down to the corner. Should we give it another go? Should we give it another go? And yes, I chain piece these. That's another thing. And I'll show you how I do it because obviously it's still on there. Give that one a little out. Go. Stick that close to your needle and on your 1/4 inch mark. Alright. Away we go. Make sure we're still recording. Pin comes out. Remember, we're aiming for, this one's going to be a little easier because we got 2 tones there. Let's bring her in a little closer. We're aiming right for that center crease line. Easier to see. This is where I need my cheater glasses. Da, 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 da. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm pretty sure I need 1 or 2 more stitches. Absolutely, that's a 2-stitcher. 1. Ah! It's, okay. I don't know if you can see this. Am I close enough in? Maybe if I turn it your way. You can see. Let me hit the flex zone. We're going to stop and I'm going to restart. Hang on. And we're running again. Okay, so do you see, can you see how it's 1 stitch on the dark? It's better to have it 1 stitch on the light. So in this case, yes, you can cheat. Let's back you up just a tiny bit. I hit my needle up and it backed. I'm just going to cinch it down. I pulled it backwards just a little bit. And now I'm in the seam. Alright. Back up. Now we're going to flip. This, your previous, oh, maybe I need to back up a little more. This was back here. Right? This is coming over to here. Just because that's where it throws the weight. Bring, 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 bring this point over here. Bring back, oh, bring back my bony doody. Oh man, I am vintage. I know songs like that. Oh, nope, just experienced. I'm the biggest kid there is. No joke. I got big toys. I sewed together. It's actually on the actual page, not the group page. I sewed together that giant Chutes and Ladders game and that big huge dice. That's my toys. Giant bubbles, giant toys. That's, yeah, that's my thing. This one is being a stinker. Sometimes it happens because it doesn't want to bend right. It's because I'm on camera. You know that's fact. But I'd rather that happen so you guys see that sometimes there is a struggle, you know. There we go. There we go. Is everybody good? I think I'm alright with that. Perfectly imperfect. This will work. Perfectly imperfect. I know it was a little off there. It could have been a cut. It could have been anything. I was okay with that. I try not to do too many like that. I should try to refocus here. It looks like we're way off. I need new specs. There we go. That's a little better. Scissors, please. Oh, those are done. I don't need scissors. My battery's running low on what? On my computer. Alright, hang on. I gotta plug that in. Apparently I'm not plugged in. Alright, we're all better. We're plugged in. Except for I have a cord in my toe. Alright. Let's do 2 more. 2 more and then I'll show you how to iron these blocks. Normally I sew faster, but I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way so you can see. It's not a race. I find when I sew faster, I have a straighter seam. That's 1 more stitch. You will get used to 1 more stitch, half stitch, the more you do these. Right in the center. Whoop, whoop. Right in the center. flip. Put that guy there. Grab this all the way. Put this guy over here. Let's bring this point up to that point. It's a little shuffle, a fold. This is not hard. It saves on thread. Yes, I've seen where you could take your one block, generally the light, just like you can hexes, and do the cheater no Y seam. Let me ask you a question. If you're being frugal, right? If you're being frugal, I need a pin, sorry. Excuse the freckly arms. If you're being frugal, why would you want to add another seam? Because that means you're using more fabric, right? More fabric. I need my fingernails. There we go. More fabric means more money you spend to make something. Less fabric you have to make something else. Here we go. Forgot to take my hand out of the way, sorry. Alright. Alright, so let's open a few. We have the one seam open. I generally give that a little bit of a press. Just come, see, how can I show you this? Come up to the line, just a little tiny bit of heat. And this is the other reason why I need my left finger, because my pointer fingernails are gone. Gone. Open. I just did a whole crisscrossy thingy. There we go. You thirsty, Blue? And then kind of the same there. Out of the way. Give it a press. Open, says me, please. So I encourage you to go on a new quilting adventure. Try a couple scraps. I don't care if they're all the same color. See if you can do it. You know, flip it over. Press. Pick up, press. Pick up, press. I do one little swipe with these. I'm not going to lie, because otherwise they're weird. Okay, that was two. How about that for a point? With no markings. Are we good with that? Let's do one more. So any of my YouTube subscribers, if you haven't gone over to Quilting Perfectly in Perfect Points group on Facebook, I encourage you to come check us out. We have a couple free patterns. I'm starting to write patterns now. Working on some more. This one does not require a pattern. It's just some practice. The only thing you need to know is what size you're cutting your strips, and then how to turn that ruler. There's that one. This one is nice and crispy. Get it open. So I'd like to thank all my YouTube subscribers, all my Facebook group people, and the people who like my page on Facebook. You're awesome. I like our group. I gotta tell you a story. I joined another quilt group a little bit ago. And there's so much... Don't criticize me. I've gotten so much criticism because they're beginners or even they're advanced quilters, experienced quilters. Look at that. Isn't this gorgeous? How about that for a point? Good points all the time. Anyway, I had to leave that group because your work is beautiful. No matter how simplistic it is or how intricate it is, how advanced you are, how novice you are, it doesn't matter. Art comes from the heart. We all have one common goal, and that's to do our best, and you can't do any more than your best. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will be I'm have a safe weekend. I'll do another one here, so you're not just watching my hands fiddle around. Have a safe weekend. I'm going out of town. When I get back, we'll finish putting this together. If I can open this up, I'll get this put together. And when I get all the blocks done, I will show you how to do assembly on this. Does that sound like a deal? Sounds like a good deal to me. Alright. Like, share, subscribe. You know all the crazy things you're supposed to say when you're a YouTuber. It all helps. Give us a thumbs up. It doesn't matter. I just say blah, 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 blah. Have a good afternoon, folks.